22 unbelievable items found in the body. 22 birds of a feather. A baby girl of just 7 months was taken to hospital because her jaw had swollen to the size of a golf ball. Doctors initially said it was an infection, but after closer look, realized there was a 2-inch feather lodged under the baby's skin. Somehow the baby had inhaled a feather. It pierced her cheek and her body tried to expel it. 21 dentist's worst nightmare. A 10-year-old girl from Brazil was complaining to her mother about something moving inside her mouth. The mom thought she was joking, but when the girl persisted, she took her to the dentist. The dentist was in turn horrified to discover that the girl had more than a dozen live maggots infested under her gums. 20 an eyesore. A 5-year-old boy in Honduras had a terrible experience with a parasitic insect. A botfly got into his eye and actually laid eggs in his eye. The boy had to undergo surgery to remove the larva from his eye. 19 lucky to be alive. Li Fuyan is one lucky man. Not only did he survive a brutal robbery when he was stabbed right through the throat, he also survived 3 years without realizing that he was carrying a 4-inch knife in his head. Li assumed the robber had removed the knife, but when he went to the doctor years later, they removed the rusty blade from his head. 18 it's fresh, that's for sure. A woman in South Korea ate some partially cooked squid from a restaurant. A few days later, she had this weird feeling in her mouth, like something was crawling. She headed to the doctor and, to her horror, realized she had small spindle-shaped little bugs called spermatophores inside her mouth. 17 a patient's worst nightmare. We featured a dentist's worst nightmare. Now here is a patient's worst nightmare. Pat Skinner headed back to the hospital 18 months after having an operation, complaining about terrible stomach pains. When she got the x-ray results, there was the pair of surgical scissors that doctors had left behind. 16 almost a relief. John Manley feared the worst when he had a terrible constant cough and breathing problems that were just getting worse. He thought he might have lung cancer, but he was almost relieved, and I mean almost, when he discovered that he had a plastic takeout fork inside of him. How he missed the fact that he swallowed the fork in the first place is beyond me. 15 a real earache. It wasn't just 1 or 2, but a total of 57 maggots that were discovered in the ear of a 92-year-old woman. A fly crawled into her ear, thought it was a great breeding ground, and laid its eggs. The maggots spent a good 3 days on the inside before they were removed. 14 pleased to meet you. After struggling with a persistent cough, Ronan Svedden from Massachusetts thought he may have a tumor. So he went to get an x-ray and was super surprised to find a small pea plant was growing inside his lungs. 13 from peas to trees. Artyom Sadorkin from Russia was having intense pain in his chest. Also thought to be a tumor, doctors went in to operate. They discovered a fir tree growing inside his lungs. The tree was already 2 inches long. It was the result of having accidentally inhaling a fir seed. 12 not safe for kids. There is a reason why toys have age limits, and that's because many of them land up inside the mouths of the littlies. One child actually managed to swallow a pretty big Buzz Lightyear figure, which luckily was surgically removed with no side effects. 11 Make-A-Wish. Not sure how it got inside, but a young girl from Beijing was struggling with earache. When she went to the doctors, they found a fully grown dandelion inside the child's ear. 10 nothing to laugh about. A chap in China was using a pair of small scissors to clean his teeth after dinner when someone at the table told a joke. Well, the joke must have been so funny, the guy swallowed the scissors. 9 tall story. Believe what you want to believe, but a 60-year-old man claimed he was sexually assaulted during a robbery, and that's the story he is sticking to after doctors found a full-size Coke bottle inside his colon after he went there complaining of severe agony in his abdomen. 8 I'll show you. That's what one Chinese girl was thinking when she had an argument with her boyfriend and then proceeded to consume 20 cobblestones. I'm not sure what she was hoping to achieve, but she had thought they could be flushed out by eating and drinking. 7. The stuff of nightmares. Many things have been known to crawl into ears, and be glad you're not Hendrik Helmer from Australia. He had unbearable pain in his one ear and assumed it was a spider. Bad enough. However, that wasn't the case. It turned out to be a 1-inch cockroach, which a doctor had to remove with some tweezers. 6. Non-disclosure agreement. This one went viral in the UK, and even